to today's statewide webinar hosted by SpedTech's and Partners Resource Network. My name is Sarah Untersea, and I'm part of the SpedTech's team here at Region 10. The topic for today's webinar is Texas Statewide Leadership for Autism Training, TSLAT, Resources for Families. A few housekeeping items before we get started today. If you need technical assistance during today's webinar, we do have Brian Wilson with us today from Region 10 to provide that support. He is the black and white box that you might see on your Zoom screen, and you can send him a chat message if you need any help. Today's webinar will be recorded and will be made available on the SpedTech's website. It usually takes about a week in order for that to be posted, but we'll drop a link in the chat so that you're able to access that once it becomes available. Although we will not have time for questions and answers today, if you do have questions, you can put those into the Q&A box and we will pass those along to our presenter following today's webinar. SpedTech is the Special Education Information Center for Texas. We're a collaborative project between Region 10 Education Service Center and the Texas Education Agency. We help parents to understand their rights and responsibilities under IDEA and facilitate collaboration when there are concerns between the parent and the school district. We also serve as a resource for educators. We offer support via phone, email, or live chat for families and professionals. We offer webinars and other resources. Our contact information is on the screen. I am now going to turn it over to Stephanie McLaughlin to share her Partners Resource Network.
Thank you, Sarah, and welcome everyone. My name is Stephanie McLaughlin. I am the Training and Evaluation Specialist for Partners Resource Network. We are the nonprofit agency that operates the Texas statewide network of parent training and information centers. We are funded through the Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs. And throughout Texas, we have 4 projects known as PACT, PATH, PIN, and TEAM. Our mission is to empower and support Texas families and individuals that have been impacted by disabilities or special healthcare needs. We do this through a network of highly skilled, regionally located coordinators who are knowledgeable in local policies, services, and resources, as well as state and national guidelines. We provide training, information, and one-on-one assistance at no cost to Texas families and youth. We serve parents of children and youth with disabilities from birth to age 26, as well as youth self-advocates between the ages of 14 and 26. All of our services are provided in both English and Spanish. And for more information, you can check out our website at prntexas.org, and you can like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, we will get started with today's presentation. We are thrilled to welcome Nathan Pullen to present for us today. Nathan is the State Autism Coordinator with the Texas Education Agency. He coordinates the Texas Statewide Leadership for Autism Training, or TSLAT network, the Statewide Technical Assistance Network for Autism. TEA's goal through TSLAT is to increase knowledge, understanding, and implementation of evidence-based practices that ensure the academic, functional, and behavioral needs of students with autism are met. TSLAT provides access to training, technical assistance, support, and resources for families and educators of students with autism. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and I'm going to turn it over to Nathan.
Apologies, y'all. I could not find my unmute button, but I am back. Can everybody hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So how many students in the state of Texas are receiving special education services under the eligibility criteria of autism? Let's look at some data from the Public Education Information Management System, or PEIMS. According to PEIMS data, in 2013, there were 41,206 students in the state of Texas receiving special education services with autism. That number rises each year until we end in 2022 with 92,912 students in the state of Texas receiving special education supports for an eligibility area of autism. The rise in students with autism is far outpacing the rise in students in Texas and the rise in students receiving special education in Texas. 1 in 58 students in Texas public schools are receiving special education services under the primary eligibility of autism. This number does not reflect the number of students with autism in public schools who do not qualify for special education services, or the number of students with autism who have a different primary disability other than autism. For example, autism is their secondary eligibility. 1 in 44 children in the United States have autism, according to the CDC. The question is, how do we most effectively educate and serve this growing population of students? And how do we train our Texas educators and families on which practices are most effective? TSLAT focuses their resources and training on the 28 identified evidence-based practices for students identified with autism spectrum disorder that is published by the National Clearinghouse for Autism Evidence and Practice, or NCAPE. There are 11 other practices with some evidence, but have yet to meet the strict criteria required for identification as an evidence-based practice for autism. Our resources at TSLAT and the trainings that we provide are centered on the identified evidence-based practices. The Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, and the Autism Supplement to Texas Individualized Education Programs, or IEPs, all require that educators use scientifically based, evidence-based, research-based practices in their teaching of students with autism. The Autism Supplement is a part of the IEP for all students with autism receiving special education services. 11 strategies must be considered by the Admission, Review, and Dismissal, or ARD committee. One of these strategies asks what peer-reviewed, research-based practices will be used with this student. Educators need to be knowledgeable about these evidence-based practices in order to complete this part of the IEP and to effectively assist students in meeting their goals. TSLAT has legislative and TEA support to provide the resources needed to ensure that teachers implement evidence-based practices effectively. You can find a guidance document on the Autism Supplement on the front page of the txautism.net website, and we even have a short 30-minute online course titled Understanding the Autism Supplement. Here are the 11 strategies of the Autism Supplement that we just discussed. The first strategy is extended educational programming. 2 is daily schedules. 3, in-home and community-based training. 4, positive behavior support strategies. 5, futures planning for integrated living, work, community, and educational environments. 6, parent-family training and support. 7, staff to student ratio. 8, communication interventions. 9, social skills supports and strategies. 10, professional educator and staff support. And 11, as we previously discussed, teaching strategies based on peer-reviewed, research-based practices for students with autism. All of our resources can be found in one place for TSLAT at this website, www.txautism.net. I will go to this website in just a minute to show you around. Our #1 most requested resource topic is behavior. This includes behavior change, reinforcing and reducing behaviors, and monitoring behavior. We have 54 online courses specifically on the topic of behavior in individuals with autism, but actually most of our 90+ courses at TSLAT touch on behavior in one way or another. We also have 40 videos in the video library on the topic of behavior. If you need resources or new ideas to help your child learn a behavior, we have over 20 tools that you can download and use immediately. Communication is the second highest requested need for supports. There are 30 online courses on the subject of communication at TSLAT. There are 17 videos and strategies in action, and concerning the subject of communication, and 15 tools for implementation with downloadable resources. So I showed you 2 topics concerning autism, but we have training, strategies, and tools for many more topics concerning autism education and more. According to O'Connor and Pettigrew in 2009, the single most significant barrier reported to prevent the implementation of evidence-based practices is a lack of time. Do you have time to research interventions? How do you know if your school is using evidence-based practices with your child? And how can you know what evidence-based practices you can use at home and in the community? Brackenberry et al. 2008 reported that it took from 3 to 7 hours to define a clinical question, search for evidence, read that evidence, and answer the question. These were researchers who were familiar with the research and comfortable searching and critiquing the literature. When we're talking about taking time to look at the research, we need to talk about strategies for cutting that time of 3 to 7 hours down to time that's more realistic. Digging deeper at TSLAT, we've built what we call Target, the Texas Autism Resource Guide for Effective Teaching. The Target has large sections on both evaluations and interventions. In our resources section, there are articles on how to select interventions for a particular student, information on special education eligibility for autism, and more. Our library of evaluations currently has information on 141 instruments that may be used in the evaluation of a student who may have autism or other developmental disabilities. For each evaluation instrument in our target library, there is an overview of the instrument, a summary of key information about the instrument, as well as any autism-related research about that instrument. This section can be used by evaluation personnel and any member of a student's team, including the parents or guardians of a student, to better understand a student's evaluation. The interventions section of the target has a search function where an educator or family member can search by evidence rating, outcome area, and age range of the student. Our library is set to show only interventions that are evidence-based because that's where we should start when designing any intervention. However, you can also search for interventions that do not meet the criteria to be identified as an evidence-based practice. Each evidence-based practice includes steps for implementation, an outline form to help practitioners, educators, and families use the interventions as they were designed, as the research shows that they are most effective. Each intervention card shows a summary of the research on that intervention and a list of the studies cited about that intervention. The information used in the intervention section of the target comes from the most recent literature review on interventions conducted by the National Clearinghouse for Autism Evidence and Practice, or NCAPE, published in April of 2020. The information could be helpful to families in preparing for an IEP meeting or selecting and implementing strategies in the home or community. Next, we have our Autism Circuit Toolkit. Let's take a quick look at this resource now. We have tools in 4 categories: behavior, social, communication, and classroom organization. You don't have to be a teacher to find some useful tools in the Autism Circuit Academy. The Autism Circuit. All of the tools can be used at home or in the community. Even the category of classroom organization may give families ideas for how to organize spaces within their home. All of these tools include steps for implementation, and most tools are downloadable. We have an annual statewide autism conference that is geared towards teachers, administrators, specialists, the paraeducators, parents, families, and more. Information can be found on our txautism.net website. The last day of the conference is a family day with presentation topics geared toward families. Registration for Family Day is free, and Spanish translation of content is available. The conference link is in the upper right corner of the txautism.net website. So what have you learned? What can you use on TSLAT's website to help support your child? What tool, course, or information can you use in your home or community? One last reminder that this is the web address for TSLAT where you can find all of the resources that we reviewed today. That's www.txautism.net. I want to thank you all for your interest in these resources and for your attention today. If you have any questions at all about TSLAT or about services for students with autism in the state of Texas, I'm available by email at nathan.pullen@tea.texas.gov. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Nathan. We appreciate your time today. We are going to go back to Stephanie McLaughlin to share some additional information about Partners Resource Network.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Nathan, for the information. Again, we are the Parent Training and Information Center for the state of Texas. We have regional coordinators located across the state that are available to assist parents in understanding special education terms, their child's IEP, and helping them navigate that. So give us a call, reach out to us. We'd love to get you connected. Check out our website at peerintexas.org and like and follow us on Facebook. Thank you.
And if you have questions about special education, contact us at SpedTex. We are happy to help. Our contact information is on the screen. We are going to stop recording now in order to transition to our poll question.